For almost a year, I was doing mobile podcasting just to see if I could do it while having a stutter, even using my iPhone 13 as everything. And then, of course, I upgraded in audio. But I seen that the time plus the fuel was adding up, so I decided to build my own studio in my apartment garage using a fake wall. Having a controlled environment as well as a permanent-ish location so you don't waste time by setting up and driving from place to place hoping for good audio and lighting. So here's a bird's eye view of my garage. So as you can see, I have a door that leads to actually my garage that is perfect from my apartment, and then I have the garage door on the opposite side. So I had to figure out where I could split this and where I could have the time to set my studio up. First, plan it all out, because that is huge. And then, of course, what are your needs? What kind of podcast are you going to be doing? If you're going to be doing a podcast, or if you're just going to be doing content creation. For the fake wall, of course, I had to see where I could get as much space as I could, because I still wanted the garage door to actually work. So I went all the way up to that as much as I could, and then I just kind of was like, okay, here's how much space I have. It's a super simple wall. It's not up to code, you guys. This is not like every 16 inches a stud, no. It's built super snug, so it can be torn down super simple, super fast, and super easy. I would have went with a long curtain setup, but since I'm gonna be in here day and night, summer and winter, I wanted to make sure it was good for the temperature. So I do have an AC in here as well. Heat, I'll just use something small on the ground. So after I had the wall built, what I wanted to actually put on the wall was drywall. But with that, if you have to actually have it cut, it gets super messy, and I was doing everything here, right? So I actually used panel wood I got from Home Depot. I actually also use it for my whiteboards as well, because as you guys know, whiteboards, like if you get them really big, they're super expensive. So I just went and got a few pieces of those. I put them up, put a few screws in them, and done. Super simple. So I actually used wood wallpaper and black acoustic foam as the background. So I did the two walls that are going to be in the shot full wood, and then along the top, and then the black acoustic foam as my main background, and then up on the sides. Those right there, it's not meant to stop the sound, it's meant to stop the echo. But before I was gonna use the actual black acoustic foam, I was gonna do a white blank wall as my background. Long story short, I just measured out how many squares I would need and then ordered them. And you guys, always order a little bit extra just in case. So each square is a foot long. So like for mine, it was about 10 feet long. And then I went 6 high, so I needed 60 squares. I ordered them in a kit of 52, so I just bought 2 of them. Also, for the sound proofing would be carpet. So for the table, I was like, okay, I would want a straight table, but you have to keep in mind the angles you want. So I did an L-shaped table. I actually built mine, and if you want instructions, I'll put it down below, but it's a process. So these you can actually buy, but here's the thing, for mine, you sit on the outside. For certain ones, you sit on the inside. It makes sense, all because if you only have one angle, you could use that one view, it will work. But for me, I use 2 views, so if I want to get up close and personal, I can do it on one view, and then I can have the other view switch over. So I put holes in mine to actually have the actual arm that comes out. I used the Elgato Low Pro mic arms, they work on point. All the wires run right under the table. And then for the audio setup, I ordered 4 Samson Q2U bundles that came with the microphone, the foam cover, the pop filter, a mic stand, an XLR cable, and headphones. For me, for my whole setup here, I do a multiple person podcast, right? So you will need some kind of audio interface or a recorder. How I have mine set up, I have control of everything. I use a Zoom H6 and it's a bit up from the Zoom P4. But for me, what I did and I looked at, it's the H6 is built a little better, but it doesn't have the 4 outputs on the headphones. So with that, you will have to get something external, which I did. I have the Samson QH4, all mainly because of how it's built. And then at a table, you have to sit down. So I got chairs, and I bought all this on Amazon. You don't have to get like super somewhat sleek office chairs, and you just have to kind of think in mind, if you do rent out your spot, your studio, you know, it looks better on them, right? As in, they're like, oh wow, yeah, this is super nice. So now let's hop into the lighting. So for me, where I am, it works perfect because I have a overhead light in my garage. It is a bit bright, so I just had to put like a small sheet over it, and I just have some zip ties holding it up. But here's the thing, if you're gonna do that, don't put it right up on the bulb, because I'm sure after a while it gets hot and then you might get a fire if something gets too hot. That's no fun. I also do have 2 soft box lights with smart RGB bulbs in there. So I also have a TV in here as well. So I don't have it in shot anymore because my lights were reflecting off of the TV. But if you do want a TV in the shot, it does look cool. They do have options to not have that glare. You can put a special screen over it. It's like a small film. I have it out of shot because certain things I do on my podcast, we react to certain things and then we speak about certain things on it, and I actually will put that clip on the actual screen post edit. It is a bit more work for sure. All right, now for the cameras. So I use an iPhone 14 and a Sony ZV-1. So certain things you need to actually have them kind of sit and be good. So for the iPhone 14, I have a certain app I use. It's about $7.99 at the time of the shooting, and of course you have to have something to actually hold it in place. So for that, you need a tripod, and you have to have a special phone holder that goes onto your phone that holds it to the tripod. And then for the Sony ZV-1, I actually bought mine like new on Amazon for $535.54, and that right there is with tax. And like right now, new is $648 plus tax. And I was like, oh, so I was like, I'm gonna try and save a bit. So with that, you have to have a tripod, a card. In my opinion, I would go no lower than 128 gigabytes, because a 1 hour and 20-minute podcast on 1080 HD takes about 33 gigabytes of memory. So if you're doing episodes back to back to back, or you just forget, then yes, it's just smart to go up a bit. And then as well, on the camera, you want a fake dummy battery, because the battery it comes with, it will not hold a charge long. And you do have to have a base mount bracket, because as you have in that fake battery, the door won't close, and then you actually can't mount the camera onto your tripod. So now here's the actual cost for the whole build. Be sure to have your whole studio planned out and design it what you kind of somewhat want to look like in your equipment, because it adds up real quick. If you have any questions, just put them down below. So thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and have a great rest of your day.